Colombia's historic presidential election is heading into a runoff vote. The right-wing candidate Duque is leading the race but fails to secure the majority needed to win outright. Duque will now face leftist candidate Petro, who finished at the second position. The second round of voting is on the 17th of June. It is the first election since the government signed a peace agreement with the FARC rebel group in 2016. US officials have crossed into North Korea to hold talks on preparations for a possible meet between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. This comes a day after the leaders of the two Koreas held a surprise meet in the demilitarized zone in Panmunjom to discuss the issue. Earlier, Trump had abruptly cancelled the Singapore summit scheduled for the 12th of June. US President Donald Trump has tweeted on his meet with Kim Jong-un. President has posted, and I quote, "Our United States team have arrived in North Korea to make arrangements for the next summit between Kim Jong-un and myself. I truly believe North Korea has brilliant potential and will be a great economic and financial nation one day. Kim Jong-un agrees with me on this. It will happen," unquote. China has welcomed the progress made through reconciliation and cooperation between North and South Korea. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lu Kang made the remarks when commenting on the second meeting between two Korean leaders, Moon and Kim Jong-un, as well as a statement made by the US President Donald Trump on the possible summit with Kim in Singapore on the 12th of June. Surprised Singaporeans pursued North Korean leader Kim Jong-un before realizing the American-Chinese man with near the Marina Bay Sands Hotel was an impersonator. Tourists near Singapore's Merlion shook hands and took selfies with Kim Jong-un's lookalike Howard. Howard says that he was appearing to wish success for a summit between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump to negotiate an end to the North Korea's nuclear program. Giuseppe Conte announced that he would be giving up his Italian prime ministerial candidacy. It happened shortly after Italy's President Sergio Mattarella has rejected Paolo Savona, the Eurosceptic candidate put forward by the far-right League and the anti-establishment Five-Star Movement to head the economy ministry. Had talks been successful, it would have been Europe's first populist government. Supporters of the far-right Alternative for Germany party, or the AfD, marched through central Berlin to protest against Chancellor Angela Merkel's government, but they were heavily outnumbered by anti-AfD demonstrations. Police say over 5,000 people turned out for the demonstrations organized by the anti-migration AfD, whereas a variety of counter-protests against the far-right attracted over 25,000 people in total. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, who is reportedly being treated for a lung infection, will remain in hospital for another day. The 82-year-old leader had been expected to be released from hospital in the occupied West Bank on Sunday, but it was postponed considering his ill health. Pakistan Army has summoned former ISI Chief Asad Durrani to seek his explanation over a book titled Spy Chronicles. Durrani has co-authored the book with India's former RAW Chief A.S. Tulak. Pakistan Army has accused Durrani of violating the military code of conduct. Durrani will be asked to explain his position on views attributed to him in the book. India has summoned the Pakistan Deputy High Commissioner Syed Haider Shah to protest against Pak government's order to change the status of Gilgit-Baltistan. Pakistan has passed an order on the region a week ago. Through its order, Pakistan has seized more authority from the local council to deal with the affairs of the region. Pak's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Assembly has passed a landmark bill to merge FATA with the province. The bill paves way for the merger of the tribal region along the Afghan border with the northwestern province. It will bring an end to a 150-year-old British-era arrangement. Now, tribal people will be getting representation in the assembly through the amendment. Pakistan and Afghanistan have expressed their resolve to work together to strengthen bilateral relations and improve security situation in the region. It was discussed in the meet between Afghan delegation led by National Security Advisor Muhammad Hanif Atmar and Pakistan's NSA Nasir Janjua in Islamabad. Afghanistan-Pakistan Action Plan for Peace and Solidarity also came under discussion. Many industries, including the internet, financial, insurance and tourism services, have been affected by the General Data Protection Regulation. The new regulation has come into effect across the European Union on Friday. Now, the new data protection rules, regarded as the world's toughest on data privacy, are expected to revolutionize personal data protection for all of the EU citizens. Former US President George H.W. Bush has been taken to a hospital in Maine. George Bush had experienced low blood pressure and fatigue, after which he was hospitalized. Bush was hospitalized in Texas last month for treatment of an infection that spread to his blood and stayed there for nearly 2 weeks. The polling has begun for 4 Lok Sabha and 10 Assembly by-polls across India. The counting of votes will be held on the 31st of May. The results of these by-elections could control the tone and tenor for the 2019 general elections for the Bharatiya Janata Party and the opposition. India's ruling party, the BJP, has called for Karnataka Bandh today. On the floor test day, the BJP had challenged Karnataka Chief Minister Kumaraswamy to waive off farmer loans before Monday, or it will call for Bandh against his false promises. The new government has not taken any decision in these directions yet. Karnataka CM will be meeting PM Narendra Modi today before noon to discuss the matter. Iran's Foreign Minister Dr. Mohammad Javad Zarif in India for a one-day visit. Zarif will be discussing the conditions of bilateral relations and ways to deepen them with India. We will also be exchanging views with the top Indian officials on the latest regional and international developments. It is Zarif's first visit to India after Trump withdrew from Iran nuclear deal. He has already visited Beijing, Moscow and Brussels. Days after Netherlands Prime Minister visited India, Queen Maxima of the Netherlands arrived in New Delhi for a 4-day visit. The Queen is scheduled to take part in a meeting with development partners at the United Nations House, besides meeting Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. After weeks of border protests, Israeli tank shelling has killed 3 members of the Palestinian militant group Islamic Jihad in the Gaza Strip. Hostilities over the Gaza frontier have soared since Palestinians began mass demonstrations on the 30th of March, which Israel deems cover for attempts to breach the border fence. At least 115 Palestinians have been killed so far and thousands have been injured in army gunfire amid the protests. India and Russia are likely to announce the rupees 40,000 crore deal before an annual summit between Modi and Putin in October. India has concluded price negotiations with Russia for a deal to procure S-400 Triumph air defense missile systems for the Indian Air Force. 2 nations are now trying to find a way out to evade the provisions of a US law that seeks to punish countries engaged in transactions with the defense or intelligence establishment of Russia. Heavy exchange of fire has been underway between terrorists and the Indian Army at an army camp in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama district. 1 army jawan has been martyred as he succumbed to his injuries. Operation is still underway in the valley. The outbreak of Nipah virus in India's southern state of Kerala has hit fruit sales in the region, unsettling fruit sellers and farmers of a huge loss. The virus has claimed 12 lives so far in the state. The fear of virus has perturbed the people, with the markets remaining deserted and shopkeepers being forced to sell the produce for half the actual price. In a major development in controversial Sunanda Pushkar's death case, a special Indian court will consider Delhi police's charge sheet against Congress leader and lawmaker Sunanda's husband Shashi Tharoor. Delhi police had filed a charge sheet in the case naming Tharoor as an accused on the 14th of May. However, Tharoor has dismissed the charge sheet. The fishing community in India's southern state of Tamil Nadu has claimed depleting seafood catch. The community says it is due to toxic effluents from Vedanta Resources copper smelter being discharged into the sea. In the last 1 week, violence in protests against Vedanta Resources copper smelter took lives of over a dozen people. Marathoners and athletes from across the globe ran for raising funds for the underprivileged in India's southern city, Bengaluru on Sunday. The TCS World 10,000 Marathon has become an annual event now. The event has seen the presence of famous world athletes. The TCS World 10K Bengaluru stretches on a track of 6.2 miles with an aim to reach out to thousands of donors for over 300 civil society organizations working for the underprivileged. Rising temperatures and scorching heat in parts of northern India continue to make life difficult for people as temperatures reach the 40 degrees Celsius mark in many places. According to the Met Department, there is no scope of any rain over the next 48 hours. However, by the end of May, people in the northern parts of India may experience some relief due to the easterly winds. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan has declared a state of emergency in Howard County in the United States after a massive storm drenched the region, triggering flash floods. Multiple rescue operations are underway. Residents have been advised to evacuate the downtown or move to a higher ground. No injuries have been reported yet, fortunately. Residents of Russia's St. Petersburg were struck in traffic due to an elephant parade held on the central Nevsky Prospect. Thousands flocked to the main road to watch the elephants, which took part in an international circus festival. The show was part of celebrations related to the 315th anniversary of St. Petersburg. News from United Kingdom. Some flights were delayed, diverted and cancelled on Sunday's London Stansted Airport. The operations were halted after a lightning struck on an aircraft fueling system during the storms that unleashed more than 64,000 thunderbolts. The fueling system was repaired later, but passengers were warned to check before travelling. Now, a migrant baby boy named Miracle was born on board a humanitarian ship, the Aquarius. He became a ray of hope among the tide of migrants risking sea crossings from Libya to Italy. Miracle, weighing at 2.8 kilograms, was the 6th baby born on the rescue ship, but the first this year.